Good evening and welcome to another video on All Hail the Ale. Tonight we're going for a beer from a style that I don't normally drink. And the reason I don't normally drink this beer is because, like most people growing up, when you discover alcohol, you go for the cheapest, nastiest beer that you can get your hands on. For some people that's like your cheap nasty cider, some people it's lager, and you tend to consume it in large quantities, and as you grow up and your taste buds evolve, you realise it really doesn't taste that good. So you kind of stereotype the style and you avoid it like the plague. And well, on my recent visit to Otter's Tears up in Burslem in Stoke-on-Trent, I picked my usual bits and pieces, and I asked Phil, the owner, to recommend me a couple of bits and bobs. And then I says to my son, pick me one out. And my son picked out a lager. And I thought to myself, I owe it to myself to try it, you know. He's picked it, and I've not really drunk lager in many, many years. So I thought, okay, let's give it a go. And the beer in question that we're going to try tonight is this one. It's from Buxton Brewery, and it is Doorway in IPL, the India Pale Lager. And it weighs in at 6.5%, so it's stronger than most lagers I ever drank as a youngster. People used to buy me Fosters and I would graciously accept. Nowadays I would probably tell them where to shove it. Not that I'm ungrateful or anything, but I really don't like it. I used to drink Kronenberg quite a bit as in my formative years, shall we say, and it ended in many a messy night. So for many years I avoided lager like the plague until now, you know. And I thought to myself, when Josh had picked this for me, I thought to myself, well, okay, craft beer offers much more. So a regular IPA will offer more than a big brewery IPA, say. They would concentrate on the hops and the strength to get it round the world, as IPAs were meant to do. But they offer more flavoured choices. You know, there's fruity flavours, there's dank flavours, there's massive hop flavours. There's so much choice. And I thought maybe the same will apply to lager, so I thought I'd give this one a punt. So, what can I tell you other than it's a lager at 6.5%? Well, Buxton say it's a dry hop lager brewed with a blend of US and New Zealand hops. Is there anything else on here at all that I can tell you? It's natural, unfiltered, unpasteurised, and that contains water, barley, oats, wheat, hops and yeast. That, my friends, is pretty much it. Yeah. Alright, okay. It's a 440ml can. So yeah, I've got that to tell you. So without further ado, for my first forays back into lager since what? I mean, I'm now 36. It's going to be 20 years plus since a true lager passed my lips. Let's crack one open. See what happens, shall we? So, Buxton's Doorway. It's pale. It's very light and pale. It looks like most lagers I remember. And my terrible pouring means I've got a huge head on it. So, there it is. It's golden, it's pale, it's carbonated. It's not as unfiltered as maybe it suggests it might be. It looks quite clear. We're talking like isinglass clear. Make no mention of it, but it's as clear as day. As for the aromas, let's see. There's hop there. There's something kind of. There's something I can't put my finger on. It's not overly strong, and it almost pains me to say it, but it's almost like a chemically plasticky type scent. And I know, being Buxton, it's not going to be anything horrific, but could just be my nose. And there I am. I forget to turn my phone volume down. Someone wants me. Anyway, like I say, there's a hop element and there is something else going on. But the smell is only a small portion of the picture. The real picture is in the tasting. Let's try it. Okay. That's not half bad. Let's top her off now the head has died down. Speaking of the head, it's a sensible size head. I mean, at a sensible pour, you've got, what, a finger or so. It's reasonably tight bubbles. Pure white, you know. It's the head, it's not the bit that's tastiest. Let's have a close-up. Have a close-up of that there beer. There, look at that. Like I say, it's golden. As for the flavour, it's light. It is what I expect a lager to be. It's never going to win me over. Lagers aren't going to win me over. But where I can see this going down well is in the summer. It's light, it's fresh. And they call it doorway. I might call it a gateway. And I'll tell you why. Because it is a sensible, safe step into the world of craft beer for people who only tend to drink big beer brews. Because it's familiar. It's got those light, dry, lagery taste to it. You know, it's not a massive step for people, but it's better than your average lager. It's definitely better. It's dry, it's light, it's fresh, it's summery. And I can see my good lady wife enjoying this, because she likes a lager, she likes a light beer. She likes fruity beers, but she also likes a light beer in the summer because it's refreshing. And I wouldn't disagree, it is a refreshing beer. This has been kept fridge cool, so it is nice and cool and fresh tasting. Yeah, it is a good gateway, I think. It's going to entice people over because it's familiar enough to be safe, and yet it's different in a better way than your normal lager that you would find in the supermarket. It's millions of times better than your Carlsbergs and Kronenbergs and other Bergs. It's a million times better than Foster's. Let's be honest. Anything's better than Foster's. No, I'll keep it clean. I will keep it clean. This is a million times better than Foster's. I should do an outtakes video one day and just let it rip and cut bits out. Kangaroo's piss is better than Foster's. Hey, I said it, there you go. But this, I actually quite enjoy. Yeah, I'm being honest, I quite enjoy it. I remember lager in not so good a light, but this, whilst familiar and kind of scary in the fact that I'm going back to lager, is better. It's not gassy, it's not chemically. I mean, Kronenberg was hideously chemically flavoured. This doesn't taste like that. This tastes better. It tastes like beer. It tastes like there's natural ingredients going on. So, yeah, let's get to the small matter of the scores. Let's start with the killer question. Would I buy it again? Let's be truthful. Yes, I would. But only just. Because I love other styles of beer more than lager. If I was in the mood for a lager, I would absolutely, without question, reach for this over anything you can find in the supermarket. Because it's got more flavour. And it doesn't taste like plastic chemicals. Even though there was that kind of aroma that I couldn't put my finger on. This is nicer. In every way when it comes to taste. How much Do I like it? Would I buy it again and then some? Well, I've had other Buxton beers and they've been very, very nice. I mean, Buxton and Omnipollo, the classic yellow belly, there's no hesitation. That would be, if I went into the brewery and picked things up, that would be the first thing on my list. This would be towards the end of my list though. That's not to say it's a bad beer, it's just not as good as anything else I've tried from the brewery. But that's personal preference, and everyone's preference is different. There are going to be people out there who love a lager who will absolutely, thoroughly, 100% enjoy this and put this as a 5 out of 5. No question about that. But for me, personally, I prefer them hoppier, more bitter, because it's quite sweet, and generally more ale-like. Whereas this is lager. It doesn't pretend to be anything other than lager, but it is an IPL, an India Pale Lager. It makes no bones about what it is, and it's good at what it does. I can't deny that. So other than perhaps choosing to rename it Gateway, yeah, I wouldn't change anything about it. You're never going to make a lager as good as a beer that's going to get a 5 out of 5 for me. I don't think such a lager exists. So believe me when I say, for me, this is the best lager I've tried ever. Period. Make no mistake about it. Even though the score is not going to be that high, I would buy it again. So that is the critical point. I would buy it again. And I can't give it a 4 because 4, it's got to be really hoppy. It's got to have bitterness. It's got to have everything I like. And then everything above the 4 is just how much of that is there. So this, I'm going to give it a 3.75, and Buxton and anyone else watching, trust me, this is a good lager. I'm just not a huge lager drinker. So as lagers go, this is very, very good. I would take this any day over any other lager you can find in a supermarket, bar none. So that in itself speaks volumes. So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of this lager because it is quite tasty as lagers go. It's the tastiest lager I've ever drunk. So thank you for watching. I very much appreciate every single one of your likes and subscriptions, comments as well, be they positive or negative, because everything is helpful. It's always good to chat, you know. So, thank you for watching. This has been Buxton's Doorway. I have been Nick, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.